Primerica. To efficiently and effectively utilize RESP, RRSP, and life insurance, contact Donny Cabad at 902-292-1368 with Primerica. Mortgage Alliance. If you would like to know how you can get that down payment for your first home, or you would like to know better strategy to pay off your mortgage sooner, contact Donny Cabad at diabad@mortgagealliance.com. Four Pillars, courtesy of David Moffat. Are you struggling with debt? Is it causing you stress? If so, reach out to David Moffat at Four Pillars. Four Pillars will work for you and not for creditors. Four Pillars will eliminate your debt as quickly as possible and reduce your stress. Call 902-482-9748. Dentistry for you. Are you a new immigrant? Do you know about kids' dental coverage under MSI program? Talk to us at Dentistry for You at 902-435-4848 or email info@dentistryforyou.life or visit them at 133 Baker Drive, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. For your complete family dental care open 6 days a week, late evenings, and weekends, visit Dentistry for You. This is your YMCA Peace Medal awardee for 2019. East Coast Filipino Portal welcomes you to your Friday live stream habit. This live stream is powered by YouFind Social Wi-Fi. For your social media marketing needs, contact Joey Moreno at 902-440-8304. Primerica. To efficiently and effectively utilize RESP, RRSP, and life insurance, contact Donny Cabad at 902-292-1368 with Primerica. Mortgage Alliance. If you would like to know how you can get that down payment for your first home, or you would like to know better strategy to pay off your mortgage sooner, contact Donny Cabad at diabad@mortgagealliance.com. Four Pillars, courtesy of David Moffat. Are you struggling with debt? Is it causing you stress? If so, reach out to David Moffat at Four Pillars. Four Pillars will work for you and not for creditors. Four Pillars will eliminate your debt as quickly as possible and reduce your stress. Call 902-482-9748. Dentistry for you. Are you a new immigrant? Do you know about kids' dental coverage under MSI program? Talk to us at Dentistry for You at 902-435-4848 or email info@dentistryforyou.life or visit them at 133 Baker Drive, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. For your complete family dental care open 6 days a week, late evenings, and weekends, visit Dentistry for You. This is your YMCA. Mga kababayan and East Coast friends, welcome to your Friday live stream habit here on East Coast Filipino Portal.
We showcase the passion and the pursuit of the Filipinos and their friends
In East Coast Canada region, we connect the Filipinos and our friends in East Coast Canada region to the world!
Alright, tonight we have a special guest. We have Zoran Jokic.
Wow, well done.
Alright, yes! He's a small business strategist that is part of AWIN. So, Zoran, what should we know about AWINs?
Well, you know, it's kind of twofold here that you mentioned. So I run my own business, which is Training First Consulting. But A1's actually is the organization that is non-for-profit and
Yeah.
Nice.
and acts as a hub to kind of concentrate on workplace education.
Oh, okay.
So providing assistance to small businesses,
Mm-hmm.
different organization to increase skills within their employees.
Oh, okay.
I can see the excitement from Zoran to talk more about business and to talk more about strategies in
Yeah.
terms of how we deal with business nowadays. But before that, we're gonna have our East Coast correspondents first. So typically we have correspondents from other provinces
Yeah.
around East Coast. So at this moment, we're gonna have the correspondent from New Glasgow, and let's check it out, Catherine Rhodes.
Catherine.
Thanks,
Hi everyone,
Catherine.
welcome to your East Coast Filipino Portal Friday Live, and this is your New Glasgow correspondent, Catherine Rhodes. We are back here at Northumberland High School in Pictou County to witness the most awaited Pictou Basketball League Finals game. So today there will be two matches happening. The first one is between the third and fourth places, and the second game, which is the championship, is between the first and the second places. There will be fun games and halftime performances from our kababayans here in Pictou County.
forward, for another event which will be held this coming June or July. Gusto ba ninyo? But this time, we're gonna have a volleyball team as well. Maraming pong salamat sa inyong lahat. Hindi po ito matutuloy kung hindi sa support na inyong lahat. First of all, sa Balay Asian Store, salamat. Thank you rin po sa Halifax Asian, Kubo Asian Store, Express, Silong Express, and Airbix, Carol Ferry, okay? And of course, our own, very own East Avenue Restaurant. Thank you, Charles, for supporting.
Our first ever Picto Basketball League Season 1 champions. May we call on the White Kids, East Avenue 3. Come on guys, congratulations.
Congratulations to the winners of special awards and to the East Avenue team for being the champion of the first Picto Basketball League season. And this has been your East Coast Filipino Portal New Glasgow correspondent, Catherine Rhodes.
Okay,
Bro.
All right, those are that's an amazing video in there, and congratulations to the team that won the first ever Pictou County Filipino Community Basketball League.
And of course, congratulations to Ronald Gomas for organizing as the
Yes.
president of the PBL. Thank you so much, Catherine Rhodes, for that video. And of course, we'd like to remind everyone that we do have a promo play for this week. So starting this Friday up until the last Friday of March, Mark's Angels will be giving.
That's amazing.
We'll be. I know you're so excited. Mark's Angels will be giving 2 pork skewers combo meals. There's pork and rice.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely incredible. Thanks so much, Mark's Angels.
Thanks, Mark.
So to all those who haven't joined in the promo play yet, please head on to our Facebook page. That's East Coast Filipino Portal. For now, they don't know yet. So head on to our Facebook page, and there's the promo play. Just answer the question, what do Nova Scotians celebrate on the 28th of February? There's there's I don't know what's
there's a crab, there's a
crab, lobster, and salmon. So just pick one answer, and whoever will be picked on later for the raffle will win one of the 2 pork skewers combo meals. There you go. So that's really exciting. Thanks so much, Mark's Angels. And right now we're gonna go to our main course for this evening, which is
2 skewers.
Rice is life.
Have you tried the Philippine skewers?
Of course.
You have? Oh my
absolutely
goodness.
amazing.
That's why I can feel the excitement as well. Zoran, a while ago while we had the video, you mentioned about how you started here in Nova Scotia. Tell us more about your immigration story before we'll go straight to the business strategies.
Well, immigration story was pretty much I was destined to come to Nova Scotia. The reason why, because uncertainties in former Yugoslavia at the time, and pretty much at that time the Canadian government actually who accepted our application. They dedicated a spot for us.
Oh wow!
And we've been asked actually at one point to say, where would you like to go? I didn't know too much about Canada, just the basic, but everybody gets scared of winter and snow and everything else. So I just kind of, without really thinking too much, I knew Vancouver, so I said Vancouver.
Yeah.
And everybody looked at me, it's like, why do you know Vancouver? I said, because they have palm trees. I mean, that's what I want to go.
Yeah.
And we end up in Halifax, and it's a funny story. I'm just going to make it short for you. I was working at the time, and my wife actually went to the embassy and figured it out that we got all the papers and everything is done. So she was so excited. She came to my workplace, and she was screaming, saying, "Oh, we got papers! We're leaving. We're going to Canada." So I said, "Okay, I know I'm going to Canada because we applied to go to Canada, but tell me where we're going." So she said,
"Tell me exactly where we're going."
I don't know. Canada. So I said, "Do me a favor. Could you sit on the bus and go back to the embassy and ask them where we're going?" So she made the trip. She comes back. She said, "We're going to Halifax."
And where?
And I said, "Where's that?
Yeah.
UK?" She said, "No, no, no, no."
Oh yeah,
no."
there's one. In the
That's right. So and then I said again to her, okay, could you please make sure that you go back and ask what part of Canada Halifax is in?
Yeah.
And she said, no, I'm not going anymore. So we end up at a friend's house, a kind of celebration.
Yeah.
And we discover an old map, or actually it was atlas.
Oh.
And it was kind of a little booklet,
Yeah.
1956 edition. And we opened the map of Canada, and we were looking actually for Halifax on the west coast. It's kind of Vancouver.
Yeah.
So I think after 3 hours we gave up.
Yeah.
At the time it wasn't Google or anything.
It was still
Yeah,
the
that's
opposite end.
That's right. And then my buddy actually jokingly said, "Oh, here's a Liverpool." And then, we look at Liverpool, and it's like, okay, Beatles, Liverpool, I can make that connection. And we just travel a little bit up the coast, and and my wife said, "Oh my goodness, that's Halifax."
Yeah.
So obviously then we discovered that we are on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you left Halifax and Nova Scotia.
I tried, I wanted to have a job somewhere else. And, and the reason why, a couple of things actually back in the 90s, the end of the 90s, this wasn't actually a great place to be.
Oh.
The jobs are very, very sporadic. Penetration without really connections and networks and everything that we kind of left behind us.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy because, I remember when we applied for immigration papers, they said, okay, you're a computer guy, and my wife was a teacher. She's a teacher by trade, profession. And all of a sudden, you come here and then you figure it out. There's no possible way that you can, work in the field. And like you do your best, like you have family, maybe you have a kid at the time, and then you kind of realize, okay, if those people here, they don't give me a chance, I gotta go somewhere else. So I left Halifax. I went out west a little bit, and I escaped the cold weather. We couldn't stand it, really. It was extremely cold.
Yeah.
And then I spent some time in the United States, and then I spent some time overseas. I spent some time in Portugal and China. And every time when I came back, I felt stronger in terms of confidence and belief in myself that I can do pretty much anything. It's almost kind of that gave me upper hand to define the value that I can bring to the community. And it just happened to be Nova Scotia.
Wow. What made you stay in Nova Scotia?
Well, I always kind of felt traveling abroad, it was hectic.
Oh, okay.
And especially after the September 11th and everything else, and I felt here a little bit at peace.
Nice.
And one of the biggest thing I think what caused us to kind of fell in love with place, it was traffic or
or lack
no traffic.
No
Lack
traffic.
of traffic. The lack of it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So we pretty much, even we live a little bit outskirts of Halifax, we kind of figure it out. 10, 15 minutes, you're pretty much everywhere. And then and then I would go. I used to work for a company based in Ontario.
Yeah.
And I would go to Toronto, and and they would say like, I have flight to Halifax on Friday at 3:00, and they would say to me, you have to leave at 11, like 4 hours or like 20 miles.
Yeah.
Just to be
Said,
the
yeah,
airport. Yeah.
just you gotta do that because the traffic is insane.
Wow.
So I think that, and then of course if you as a young parents at the time, you kind of think that your kid is safe, which is the most important part.
Yes.
Of course.
Another thing is my son actually, when I look at my growing up in that kind of early stage of life. It wasn't a big difference, we live in a cul-de-sac, it would be always 15, 16 kids, they would come play with, toys, bikes, pool, so it was kind of, almost growing up back in the 70s, but didn't care too much about it, and the kids would come and you give them a sandwich, they eat, and they go somewhere else, somebody else's house, they come back, so in that sense, I felt really, really, really good about it.
That's good. That's awesome.
And I think there's one person that feels good about you. Feba Cooley just mentioned, he said, hello, Professor Zoran, Aldonic, and Joey. Interesting topic for tonight, eh? So, really interesting. So, and that story is also interesting. You've mentioned a while ago that for you to be able to find out whether Halifax or Nova Scotia is the best fit for you, you have to live a little bit and then come back and see the difference. Because to be honest, it's really the lifestyle in Nova Scotia that's totally different from the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so going to our topic, Donik. So, what brought you to the business sector or business?
I think just the circumstances. So I'll be very honest. You know, sometimes people inherited businesses and they had a family that kind of ran the business. I did not come from family of entrepreneurs. You know, my mom and dad pretty much were corporate.
Okay.
However, I think I always had a different spectrum and different understanding. You know, I always want to challenge myself and to do something better and different. And a lot of times, you know, I could not sustain myself to be in the corporations because, you know, I did not see myself doing it. So I worked for the company called BlackBerry, and probably most of us we know what happened. So I was one of the early employees here in Nova Scotia, and you know, it was massive layoffs that everybody been part of, whoever worked in Nova Scotia. So when I was going home, you know, a little bit disappointed, of course. And I love that little company. I love the values. I love everything about it. And I came home, and my home phone rang, and all of a sudden, you know, my director said, "Listen, so I know it's Thursday, but can you go by Monday? Can you be in Athens, in Greece?" And I said, "Wait a second, you know, you just kind of gave me a pink slip, and now you're expecting me to do something for you." And he said, "Do you mind?" And you know, and one thing that when I really pointed out, everybody was in a setting of the similar like this of the boardroom. And he was, you know, on the projector and TV, and you know, they asked us, you know, if we want to say something, and you know, as a kind of saying goodbye. And my thoughts were like, you know, I basically said, I remember every single word that I said. I said, I believe in product, I believe in service, and I believe in the structure of the company and in people. They work with BlackBerry at the time, worldwide, because at the time I think BlackBerry had 21,000 employees. And I said, you know, I strongly believe that the company will do well regardless at one point, and that was it. So I think that opened the door, because, you know, we look at normally pessimistic side of everything, but I think this was a little bit more optimistic, enthusiastic in their mind. And he gave me that call, and he said, like, you know, yeah, I understand the technicality of it, but you are going to be our freelancer or consultant. So pretty much I had a Thursday, half day, Friday, full day to go to join stock and register the company and open the business. And that's how it started.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So from being part of BlackBerry and becoming part of Owens and being involved in workplace educators, what were the things that you had to do to further improve your skill set?
Well, you know, one of the things that everybody in a small business aspect, everybody kind of struggling with time. Time is an essence, and it's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes, you know, we just go and we learn as we go. You know, first of all, we have to all be, we'll understand that making mistake is okay. That's how we learn. So there's no ideal situation. So the early stage, I did not know too much about it. I was very fortunate that my wife, she does a lot of finance side of the business. So kind of she did help a lot. I was very familiar with the marketing, so kind of, you know, two aspects of the business were okay. So the third aspect was HR labor that kind of didn't know too much about it. And then, of course, operation, that was a kind of your skills, or, you know, what can you do for. So so one mistake that I made at the very beginning, and I think most of the small businesses we go through this, is they become client dependent. So, you know, they got a good deal, as we normally say. You struck one good client, a good paying client, you know, and on time paying client, which is the most important part. And then very quickly they realized they couldn't dedicate their time for anything else. So as a early stage startup, I think you know, just even planning how much you are going to invest a certain part of the business, I think that's an essence. Because if you don't follow that pattern, you know, you might be working 3 times harder than you ever work in a company.
Yeah. A while ago, you mentioned about challenges that you were able to overcome, and then the mistakes that you're not afraid of doing. What do you think were the typical and common problems or challenges that people who wanted to venture into the business? Like, there's always that fear, like, I don't want to go into it because of this. What were the major obstacles?
Well, I think you know, the passion, as much as we say it's a good thing, passion could be, if it's a lot of it, could be a dangerous thing. Same as confidence, you know, we say, like, you know, very confident, but if you're awfully confident, you might appear a little bit different, cocky or whatever it is. So I think that's kind of on the personal side of things. But if you look at the business itself, I think the biggest mistake people do still even these days, they never count how they pay themselves. Because they're in the business and they think, you know, okay, so I do have either storefront or you do online, whatever it is, and I love what I do, so, you know, I don't mind doing it 10, 11, 20, you know, 12 hours. But the bottom line is, you know, you are not going to make, you know, enough money to sustain yourself, you know, at 11, 10, whatever, you know, hours that you put in. So I think the biggest challenge at the beginning to understand that you have to pay yourself. Very quickly after, I think, which is also attached to some part of finances, is you have to understand there's a tax system in this country, and a lot of people don't understand that HST actually it's not your money. It is a part of basically collecting on behalf of the government. But I look at it as a positive thing, because normally when you do your financials, and if we kind of conduct any transaction today, it's very common that the other party will ask you to run financial statements. And if you don't want to release it, you have slightly less chances to deal with business. And also, you know, the HST, like, it's easy to say, we know it's at rate 15%, and they basically can calculate your sales. So if you say that you had, you know, I don't know, $100,000 in HST, you know, your sale would be around $800,000 a year, whatever, 750, whatever comes out. So I think those are the 2 biggest mistakes, and that's definitely together, combined together, that would be that famous cash flow, which is the biggest challenge for small businesses.
So for someone who just immigrated, or even though they are already in here and they're planning on opening a business, or they already have a restaurant, but they don't know what are the things that they need to consider to make it sustainable or even grow it, what are the things that people should consider?
Well, you know, first of all, you know, like any other business, you're trying to somehow control your cost. So everything has to be written on the paper. There's no something that's called so-called hidden cost, because as many hidden costs you have, like, you know, you're going to end up in trouble. So if somebody's looking to have a storefront, and like, you know, I mentioned restaurant, and I'm very familiar with the industry, the first thing that we have to kind of learn is, depending, of course, what size of the restaurant and everything, how much is the rent? How long I'm going to be under the lease obligations, which a lot of people don't encounter that. And then, you know, with everything else, then you have to kind of make sure that you understand really well that each chair in your restaurants, as we talk about restaurant, has a price tag. So each chair actually has to be kind of translated to X amount of dollars. And if you don't understand that, you know, we all think about food people will eat, but Nova Scotia is a very tough market for that. Normally they respond well when something is newly open, but then if you don't really understand the promotions and marketing and everything else, you kind of fall, you know, between the cracks, and then you kind of start losing the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else in terms of things that they need to prepare themselves, like reaching out to professionals?
Absolutely, write a business plan.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't sound, you know, anything is super professional. It's a guideline. It's something, you know, that will keep you you know, up at night thinking about it. You know,
Yeah.
what are the things you have to put there. And more people today, you know, they can anticipate exactly how much certain cost is going to be, especially if they kind of claim their specialty in the industry. So somebody, because a restaurant owner, like, you know, for instance, they have to anticipate. The business plan should be created around, you know, all the expenses, all the marketing, all
Yep.
the, you know, employees, because that's, without them you really can't do too much.
Yeah.
So all those kind of things has to be somehow part of the business plan. And then, because I said before, the promotion is something that we normally forget about it, kind of we get afraid. So I think the promotional part has to be as a kind of part of business plan, as we call it, marketing plan. So if you do develop those two side by side, and you know, and I think you have a better chances.
Yeah. So just a follow-up question on the promotion or marketing side. What are the strategies that based on your experience is most effective for small businesses?
Well, it will depend, you know, of the nature of the business. But if we kind of look at a traditional brick and mortar, actually, you know, you have to kind of calculate your high peak and low peak months. And in a high peak, actually, the promotion still has to be there. And a lot of times when people think about promotion, it is always association to discount or some freebies or anything like that. I think as we evolve in the business, and a big effect actually on any business has generational, you know, approach, and younger generation, they look at the different aspect. I think the money that you have to dedicate it could be less, because you can kind of have impact on social media and everything else, which actually could play a key role. However, you have to be very, very cautious of your strategy. Has to be targeted specifically to the market, not just kind of be widely open. And I think one of the lessons for many people is the flyers and all those kind of things that we normally got used to it. They still have impact in Nova Scotia up to a certain point, but I think togetherness of promotion, that's the most important part. So what I mean by that, if I share discount with you and you get 5%, and you know, you kind of say, okay, this is a good deal, I'm going to get another 1% or whatever, so you get up like in 5 or 6, 7%.
Yeah.
And I think the marketing has to be catered to that. So again, sharing as much as we can.
Yeah.
So Zoran, I just want to go back to the business plan. If I am venturing into a business, I haven't, you know, like, say for example, originally in the Philippines, I had a business, and then I came here. I really wanted to pursue whatever I have had before, because that's typically what's, you know, normally what happens to immigrants. But how can I say to myself that, hey, this is a good business plan, and I'm gonna proceed with executing the business plan? What are the points? What are the characteristics of a strong business plan?
Well, I think every business plan needs or must have a good research behind it. So if you decided to open something that's probably, and most of the immigrants, they think, you know, I'm bringing something that doesn't exist here. And I think the business plan has to be research based on, you know, competition. So for many people, when they look at competition, they would say, you know, I'm the only one making this stuff and nobody else is making. So I always said, you got to find a secondary competition. So normally we kind of divide on direct, indirect competition. So if you find indirect competition, it's not probably exactly what you're doing, but it's very similar. Because what happened, a lot of people don't understand, the market is already there, and your job in your business plan actually to prove that you're going to take a segment of the market and that you are going to do better than your competition. And when you're writing the plan, that actually has to be explained exactly how I said. And I think most of the people don't understand the meaning of word competition. So the research demographics. Because we live in the area, kind of everybody thinks that money grows on the trees. Especially for immigrants, especially if you go back home and you kind of visit your family, and everybody expects that you bring them gifts. Because you have successful business.
You're bringing chocolates.
That's right. Well, chocolates, that's past. Nobody kind of bad chocolate. I can get that. Don't worry about chocolates. So I think most of the people, when they think about what's going on somewhere else and they bring it here, they think this is absolutely something that everybody will buy. But I think the business has to be structured about one thing and one thing only. You have to identify what are the problems that people have, even like it's a food, like maybe dietary, maybe whatever it is, and what are you trying to resolve? How you're going to help people to solve the problem they might have. So normally, in the problem, when kind of look at the demographics, we have to understand the market here is not the strongest. We had upside down economy here a few years ago, which 30-40% of people actually working class supporting non-working people. And I'm very happy to see more and more immigrants are coming in and they're trying business venture. So 2 years ago, by statistics, Nova Scotia, we had 29,298 registered businesses, and we normally kind of see decline, losing them probably in a rate of 10 to 15% year after year. And when I go back,
that's quite significant.
It is
significant. It's very significant.
And if I go back to kind of try to, of course, I couldn't analyze every single one, but exactly what I said before. You have to understand the research, you have to understand demographics, you have to understand finances. Where's that coming from? But one of the biggest things that we all can do and help each other as a new native to Nova Scotia, doesn't matter where we're coming from, is to provide support. And that support, that doesn't necessarily mean always you're not going to go to the same guy, use their services. But we have to have support group that people will understand what does it take to run the business.
A lot of immigrant communities, like individuals who come here, have this special recipe. Like people really
achara.
People are so excited when they come here. I have this recipe, I want to sell it, and I tried it out. A lot of people buy it. When is the best time to say, hey, I'm gonna go mainstream?
Well, I think the first time is, everybody got an idea, and I think everybody went through that evolution of having a great idea and having a grandma recipe to do something with it and monetize somehow.
Definitely.
However, when I look at that side, again, don't go into business just because you have a recipe. Don't go into business because you have something that nobody else has it. And for many people, I think immigrants normally, we started calculating a little bit different. So I met people on both aspects or both sides of the story, as we normally say. I met people, they went like a plunging in and no matter what, I'll do it. And then you do have a people, they calculate.
It's too much passion.
And I think the first thing that people, they have to realize having a recipe is there's a lot of sacrifices they have to make. And if they don't understand that part, then normally I always hear the story. People say, I'm not going to go into business, but I'm going to do a little bit of, go on the market and sell stuff, just to see kind of to test the ground.
The farmers
and then
market.
that's right. And then they go and they find a full-time job.
Yeah.
And this is the time when you calculate.
Yeah.
I said what the heck, I have a better job. This is hard. So I'm going to leave one. And normally that's what happens, because you know what? When we come here, there's two groups of people. They come here, they stack money. With the exit strategy is one day I want to move back to where I'm originally from. And there's another group of people, they said, I came here to create a life. And I think those people, they have a better chances to succeed in the business versus the other, because they calculate everything in a nickel and dimes.
So they have to be like Zoran. Zoran, I just want to say hi to Bruce Holland, who's watching. He said, Zoran, my man, Yokik, one of the most brilliant people I know. Wow.
Thanks, Bruce.
Let me just check the people that are watching. Shout out for some people that are watching. We have Koji, Jainis Patels from the Indian community, Janex
Janex.
Synchronous he's a business owner too, right?
Yes.
Helen Spino Burchell, Checha De Leon, Ace Palma, Rodel Aprilia, Arnold Cortez, Eileen Serrano, Rex Castillo. Rex is just he's starting his sounds and lights business.
Cool.
Yeah, so
And Rex has committed to be part of the Filipino Food Bazaar.
oh wow.
It's coming
good.
March
That's
22, so it's really interesting because there's a lot of engagements. There's a lot of people who have. We posted it last Sunday, and then right now we have like almost 300 interested in going to the
Awesome.
event.
Yeah.
So it'll be 301.
Yeah, yay! It's actually a momentum builder for the June Heritage Celebration,
Yes,
so
yes.
that people will be expecting it. And then in June, it's going to be the June Heritage Celebration will be an amazing big event
Yeah.
that we will be enjoying. Last
That's
year
awesome.
we had close to 2,000 people
Wow.
Yes.
that went to the big event, and then this year we're aiming to have more
Bigger and better,
bigger
yeah,
and better.
and more
Wow.
exciting. Speaking of excitement, Roberto Gonzalez says, amazing topic for all Filipinos and immigrants. Now more power to you guys. Thank you so much, Roberto. Because really, I also believe that business or going into business really will allow you to explore yourselves more
Mhm.
and be able to get the most creative part of yourself and put it into something that the community will benefit from. So, and also Sol Matalam, she's watching. Hello, Sol. So exciting, excited. Also for the host.
So we'll be hosting the big event in June. So she's
Yes, yes,
excited.
yes. I kind of exchanged a couple of text messages and emails with Sol. So yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, she's amazing.
I heard a great story about her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So we mentioned about business planning and characteristics of it, and then you also tackled about the marketing plan.
Mhm.
A lot of people think that when they go online and post it and boost it, that's it. I'll be getting a lot of responses. What's your take on that? What's your advice on that? Because it's really easy to boost it on your own, but how is it boosting certain event or business with an expert or with a consultant?
Well, I think people, came from way back in the days when social media started in kind of 2008, 2009, early stage, and everybody had that famous word called viral, and everybody thought that just because I'm present, something will happen.
Yeah.
And my biggest part always was, you have to predetermine any things that you do with purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do social media just because you wanna, or digital marketing because you wanna kind of let people know that you're there, it's okay at the beginning. It's okay because it's kind of nice to say, hey, I'm here. I open a store. I do this or I do a consulting, whatever
Yeah.
it is. So it's nice. And then what happened, I always talk about this, chemical in our body. The first thing that we do, I try not to do it too much.
Yeah.
Look at the phone first thing in the morning
Yeah.
when you wake up, and you posted something night before, and the first thing you look, said like, okay,
How many likes?
I got 300 likes.
Yeah.
So what happened? The chemical in the body called dopamine,
Yeah.
goes through the roof, and you're so happy.
Yeah.
And then the next day you post something and you get like 1 or 2 likes.
Yeah.
Normally family member or good
Yeah.
like, and dopamine level goes down and you feel pretty much
Yeah.
as a somber face all day long.
Yeah.
So I think people have to differentiate any type of digital marketing strategy between personal and the business.
Mhm.
It's kind of two separate entities.
Yep.
So when it comes to business side, first of all, I always say you have to dedicate a time.
Mm-hmm.
So the time would be kind of don't try to overwhelm your space. So think about your bulletin board.
Okay.
Don't go silent for a while and then one
Yeah.
day you got a couple of hours and you kind of blast everything.
Yeah.
Because you're not just fighting your time, but also you're fighting algorithm that normally kind of keep changing, month after month.
Yeah.
And the next thing is, you have to develop strategy. So the
Yeah.
strategy actually here needs to have a purpose. And whole purpose of digital marketing is actually to to get people in your store, to get people to consume your products or services. So you have to strategize to create some type of leads. My biggest challenge, and I teach a lot of people how to use proper digital marketing, is I think not having ideas. Because what happened, everybody at one point says, I want to have 10,000 followers, I want to have 10,000, like on my page or whatever it is. But you know what? That doesn't mean anything anymore. So when it comes to advertisement and the topics that you should choose, I think I always divide it on 1/3 of everything. So 1/3 has to be salesy content, something that you believe that you need to attract people to your business. So if you, and I've seen this over and over, a lot of people, they use social media and they don't talk about anything else, it's just sell, sell, sell. So what happened, if they really run analytics, you can see that they're declining, an algorithm actually saying, you're annoying, buzz off, I don't want you.
You just
anymore.
want money from us.
Absolutely. And then you kind of you start hitting the closed door, and you kind of don't know what to do anymore. And then I said 1/3 actually you should show your passion that's outside of the business. So I'm very passionate about small business of Nova Scotia and growth out, because I think that's the only way how we can resurface and do something better for anybody who lives here. And you can be passionate about sport. I mean, Filipino community are very passionate about basketball.
What?
And that's how it is.
Yeah.
And we have to kind of show our involvement in the community.
Yes.
Even maybe you're not making any money, but it's a passion about it.
Definitely.
And the third thing, you have to associate yourself to influencer. So it's you do 1/3 of everything, and an influencer actually. And I always go back to infomercials. When somebody developed this magic pill that that will help you grow your hair, in 5 days.
You're not picking on someone.
No, I'm not picking on anybody in particular. So what happens? The first thing what they do, they find MD, a physician, who comes and basically say, hey, you know what? Yeah, this is tested. The labs say this is the results, and that's the influencer. And I think people get stuck because they think we're such a small market, we don't have influencer. But it doesn't have to be influencer in an industry, because we do have amazing people. Actually, I'll mention somebody called Rodney Habib, who is, I call him Martha Stewart of a dog and cat and pets industry.
Oh, wow.
And absolutely, he was the first guy in Nova Scotia that had 10,000 followers.
Yes, yeah.
And if you do segmenting in those slices of 3, 1/3 of everything, I think then people will be, you'll pique the interest. People will look at it.
Yeah.
You're kind of almost, you're looking as your favorite TV show, and at 6 o'clock you're going to be in front of it.
Absolutely.
So that's the same thing that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, going back to just a follow-up question, apart from what you mentioned earlier, so if you have a business, a small business, you have a choice of either do it yourself or hire someone. Which area in the business would it be effective and efficient to do it yourself, and which area in the business would it be better for you to hire someone?
Professionals.
But you kind of have to look at what kind of impact in a business is going to have if you do it yourself. So I learned a lot about finances, but I was very horrible with finances. So imagine me at the time, running the business and making money on consulting side of the spectrum, and kind of saying to my clients, no, I don't want to work with you today because I have to take care of my books. And probably it will shut me down for quite some time until I learn.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I always say to people in a small business, don't hustle and bustle of something that you can't produce that easy. So I would say hire to your weaknesses. And it's okay to admit that you don't know how to do marketing. It's okay to admit you don't know how to prepare financial statements. It's okay to know that your leadership, if you had a team of people, that you need to improve. So I think that's the first thing that we have to kind of start realizing in order to have some type of smooth sailing.
And then, is there what are the other resources that are available for small business owners or people who are thinking of opening a business?
But I think the business has to come from education first. And in Nova Scotia, we're very fortunate that we do have a lot of resources to educate ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, how to do the research, how to do marketing plan, how to do business plan, how to kind of calculate the profit. You know, all those things. I think HR, finances, all those things actually are accessible to us, the different programs that Nova Scotia government really supporting for many years. And you know, and like anybody else, I've been part of it on both sides, providing assistance or being kind of student of small business. So that's the first thing that I would advise the people. You know, don't try to figure it out always on their own. YouTube videos are great, but YouTube videos are never explicit to the market that you're in. And even when I said market, you know, Bedford is different than Dartmouth, Dartmouth is different than Halifax. So we have to understand that. So I think that's the biggest challenge, that a lot of people don't understand there's existence of those programs. But when I look at, you know, today, there's a lot of if you need to hire employees, there's a lot of things available to us, you know, subsidies and you know,
grants.
and the grants and even the banks. I mean, I worked with people that've been in Nova Scotia after I wrote the business plan. They've been here less than 6 months, and they successfully actually received the funding from the financial institution.
Yeah.
And you know, don't take the answer the first time you're gonna get no. So what? I mean, relearn and figure it out how you can close the gap and go back. And you know, that's, if you have passion to succeed in the business, that's exactly test, first test. You can't just, you're gonna get tons of no's, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot actually. We have like a few minutes left though, but I'm really learning a lot from you. But how about those who have already surpassed the challenges, those fears, and then they're in their third year of their business, which is really crucial part of, you know, the longevity. What would you want to tell them? What would you advise them in terms of, you know, continuing on with the success, or
You
why
know,
not?
stay on the track. Go back to rewrite your finances, because that's a very crucial year to kind of see where you're at. Go back to the drawing board, see how you can exponentially grow, and be realistic. Because sometimes people, you think, you know, third year is a hustle, but fourth year you're gonna double it. I mean, I always kind of say, if you double it after third year, I'm concerned, because there's got to be something that wasn't working. So I kind of look at any business exponentially growth, like, you know, 15 to 20%, kind of on the generous side. And I think if you realize to learn that, so every movement ahead, it's a good, you know, good involvement of the business. I think that's what people, they need to realize. Also, look at the networks outside of the existing network. So, you know, just because, you know, you belong to one community, that doesn't mean that other community don't like your product or services. So look for outside, and then, you know, depends again on the business. You know, try. There's a big change in how people see businesses today. So before, they used to, and I've been, both of you been told, you know, when you went to school, or you know, if your parents said to you, you be the best. So a lot of times when people open the business, that's what they hear, like, you know, whatever it is, you be the best. So from that, be best in the business, the biggest change actually now, the data and the markets and everything telling us, be the best for the world. So from being best in the world, be best for the world. And I think people in third year of the business, that's what they have to start counting on as well. So get involved, you know, support different initiatives, be part of it, and that's what you're gonna get judged, essentially. And be good for your employees if you haven't, because it's very quick. People today, again, be connected, social media and everything. So if you're not fair to your employees, you know, your business is not gonna go far.
How about those individuals who would wanted to venture into something that is already in existing? Like, say, for example, there's good food now. There's chef's
Mhm.
plate. There's how about that kind of person? Because he's really passionate. I want to do this because that's the trend now. So what do you want to tell them?
Well, I always say again, go back to research. So for the fact there's a market for certain
Demographics.
things.
Yeah.
And if you can take that slice, a little tiny slice of the
Mhm.
market that's already exists, so just concentrate on that. And sometimes people when they start a business, they have so many ideas, and it's okay to have so many ideas,
Mhm.
but don't use them, at the same time when you start a business. Have one idea as a primary thing, and follow that gut feeling, because a lot of times people kind of hear from friend, you have to change. And I'm a big fan of Seinfeld. Remember the guy from Pakistan, and Seinfeld told him like make Pakistani restaurant, and he didn't do good. It's kind of similar to that. And I always said to people, you know what? If you're passionate about something, it's nice to diversify your business, but also it's very important to grow the business with the idea that you initially started with. So don't go all over the place.
Yeah.
Focus.
Focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were saying earlier that about the employees being good to your employees, that also have relationship with leadership, right? So what's the importance of having what's the difference between manager and leadership, and how do you cultivate that leadership mindset that would have an impact in the success of your business?
I look at a leadership as bringing people on the same level, and kind of almost inviting them to your space of a leader. So we kind of have 5 stages of leadership, and normally people always think leadership and management, managerial position are together, and no difference between two. And I always said, if you want to be a good leader, actually, you have to invite people to share the same, that number one spot that everybody, it's desirable for many people. And nothing is wrong to be a leader. I always kind of talk about trust, and leadership. And the leadership, a lot of people think trust is like, can I trust you that you're going to do certain things? And I don't talk about that trust, guys. I talk about trust, which is vulnerability trust. So as a leader, you have to admit to your colleagues.
Yeah.
I call them colleagues because,
Co-partners. Yeah.
partners.
Yeah.
You have to admit that you are a human being, and it's okay to make mistakes, especially in small business. You're going to make tons of mistakes. So it's not the fact that you made mistakes. What really counts is how quickly you recover.
Yeah.
And as a leader, you have to kind of step up and say, you know what, I made mistakes. That is me. And I think if everybody does that as a leader, the company growth is going to be completely different. And people will realize, I'll make mistake, but what kind of come as a result of it, that's what I want to embrace. That's what I want to work on it.
Yeah, really more on shared responsibility, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, for a company.
Absolutely.
Well, we really want to go on and on and on,
Yeah.
because this is really a great topic, Zoran. First and foremost, thank you so much for your time and for everything that you've shared. Before we'll go to the final words, we'll head on to our raffle. You didn't join the promo, right?
No, I didn't join the promo, but that's okay.
It's all
Joy,
good.
you're going to take me to the restaurant.
Yes. So we're gonna have the raffle of our promo. So once again, thank you so much, Mark's Angels.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark's, what's your favorite from Mark's Angels?
Their skewers, and also their chicken, the crispy chicken one.
Crispy chicken.
Yeah.
It's all you can eat chicken, right?
Yeah.
No.
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll double check.
I think they also have the lechon, which is the whole pig roast cut into.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pictures online from Mark's. Thank you so much once again. So now
They're located in Bedford Place Mall.
Bedford Place Mall. Ayan. So it's actually not too far from here, about 10 to 12 minutes.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's close to my home, actually. So.
Oh wow.
Okay.
All right. So our first winner.
Let Zoran read it though. Let's have
Flip
Zoran
it.
read. Can we flip it?
It's Francis Apollo Japos.
Woo! And we have him here in the
Francis, congratulations.
Francis, congratulations.
Francis just arrived from Toronto.
Wow, so you're
And-
gonna be hungry.
Yeah.
They don't feed on the plane anymore as they used to, so that's a good thing. Awesome.
So welcome to Nova Scotia, Francis. Welcome to East Coast. So that's our first winner for our Mark's Angel Pork Skewers combo meal. And our second winner.
I yelled.
Huh? Did you join?
No.
That's good.
The second winner is
Claire Estler.
Claire
Am I right?
Kessler.
Claire Essler, you have won as well one of the two pork skewers rice combo meal courtesy of Mark's Angels. Maraming salamat to all those who have joined into our promo play. So keep posted for our next promo play for next week. Ayan. So Zoran, any final words to all of those who are watching?
I always say, ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to do everything on your own. Try to dedicate time for enjoyment, not just business. Understand there's a support, and the support comes from the family first, or significant other, household, if you want to kind of go that way, and just be brave. Be brave, because you know what, the worst case scenario is you learned a lesson and you started something else, and anybody who is especially the age of 20 to 20, 35, you know what, there's a lot of opportunities. So don't be shy.
Awesome. Donik, what have you learned from this discussion? Any takeaway?
Yeah, for me, the important thing is the leadership portion and also the marketing. 1/3 is sales, 1/3 is passion outside of business,
And
which for
influence.
us, like helping out for the newcomers, and then 1/3 would be associate with influencers
Like Zoran.
like Zoran, right? And we had the mayor of Halifax last time, right?
And last
So-
time we had the most famous Canadian.
Yeah.
Tarek had.
That's right.
Yeah.
Terry
that's
had
right.
Terry
was
had
it.
it, that's
Yeah,
right.
we had an interview with him, so it's really amazing.
I think from my end is that be a Superman, but not really a Superman.
That's right.
You know, like you bank on your passion, you bank on your capabilities. However, don't take that responsibility by yourself, but share it amongst the people that you deal with directly, and then be able to give back to the community.
Absolutely.
Just like Superman, he gives back to the community.
Yeah.
So he's successful. So he's influential. He takes his passion as a strong person. I don't know if he makes money. That's the problem with Superman. I think the directors make some really good money.
Could be.
Yeah.
So I just want to add one thing, and this is for everybody. So please understand, we always talk about buying local, but please, 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 beside buying local, hire local.
Mm-hmm.
I like that point.
So
I really like that
please,
point.
please, please, because we just don't count on people because they have a storefront that we're gonna go there and support a community, but we have to start hiring local as well.
Yeah.
Support the community by hiring local as
Absolutely.
well. Awesome. Once again, Zoran, thank you so much.
Thank you, Zoran.
On behalf of our family here in East Coast Filipino Portal, we'd like to thank Zoran for everything that we've learned today. And to all those who have questions, you can always contact Awens. How can they contact
Actually, the
Awens?
best idea is
And-
to contact me at Zoran at trainingfirstconsulting.com. So again, I a lot of times I'm not beside the phone, so email would be the best option.
Yeah.
So or check my site, trainingfirstconsulting.com.
Training first, consulting.
That's right. So that's kind of the easiest way.
Oh.
So that's Zoran at trainingfirstconsulting.com. So you have to get trained first before you get into something else. So once again, this has been your kababayan, your friend Al Landingin.
On behalf of Joey, Koji, and Francis,
And welcome, Francis.
this is Don Nicabad.
Here on East Coast Filipino Portal.
This is your YMCA Peace Medal awardee for 2019. East Coast Filipino Portal welcomes you to your Friday live stream habit. This live stream is powered by YouFind Social Wi-Fi For your social media marketing needs, contact Joey Morel